Hey, what's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video we're going to be comparing the camera quality of the Google Nexus 5 to the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now we will be looking at both the front and the rear facing cameras and at images as well as video. Do also look out for the audio icon, which will be in the corner of the screen, and that will indicate to you which device the audio is coming from too, and we'll be switching between these two to give you guys a better idea of the differences in audio too. So we're currently indoors, we've got plenty of light, and we're using the front facing cameras on both of these devices. One thing to note straight away is that the Samsung Galaxy S4 has a 1080p front-facing camera, whereas the Google Nexus 5 has a 720p front-facing camera. So you may notice a difference right away. Well, anyway, do hit that thumbs up button and let's head outside and give the rear-facing cameras a test too. Okay, so we're currently outdoors with the rear-facing cameras on both these devices. Got a little bit of sunlight for a change, and this is the sort of quality that you can expect from both of these devices. Outdoors now with some more close-ups here of some leaves. This is the sort of quality difference that you can expect. So we're now indoors with the Samsung Galaxy S4 and relatively low light. We're just testing out the autofocus. It seems to work pretty well and does a decent job. You can always touch to focus as well, and that's pretty quick and snappy, and this is the sort of quality that you can expect with the Samsung Galaxy S4. Okay, now we've got the same lighting and just testing out the Google Nexus 5. So once again, the autofocus seems to be pretty quick and snappy, and on screen the image is looking much brighter than the Samsung Galaxy S4. I do have to say that. Now in terms of touching to focus, you can't touch to focus because when you touch to focus it actually takes a picture. So now say for example if I go in close here, can't actually touch to focus. You have to, well, it takes a picture. I'm not sure if this can be changed. I've not been able to find it in the settings myself, but this is the sort of quality that you can expect. So that was the video. Now let's have a look at some images. We'll start off with some selfies, hashtag selfies from the front facing cameras of both devices. I think the S4 is definitely doing a much better job here. The colors are much more accurate, and the Nexus 5 looks a bit washed out and also a bit yellowy. I don't actually look like that in real life, I promise. So definitely I'd give the edge to the S4. Also looking at my t-shirt, you can see that the color is much better on the S4, and the front facing camera, the S4 definitely wins here. Now an outdoor image in good light, both are doing a pretty good job. One thing you'll note straight away is that although these were taken from roughly about the same angle, the Nexus 5 does have a wider angle lens. The S4 is a little bit more tighter, so you're going to be seeing more on the Nexus 5. Now that really comes down to personal preference, whether you like a wider image, more in your image, or if you prefer close-ups and getting in tighter to your subject. In terms of the quality of images, both are doing good. I think the Nexus 5 does have a little bit more contrast, which I do like. Now one thing that you do have to know is that the Samsung Galaxy S4 has a 13 megapixel rear facing camera versus the 8 megapixel camera on the Nexus 5. So if we go in 100%, you can see that the Samsung Galaxy S4, you can crop in much further because of the larger image. Now yes, it was already tighter from before because the Nexus 5 has a wider angle lens, but you are going to have a larger image with the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now an outdoor wide image, both are doing pretty good here, pretty decent. I'd give the edge here to the Nexus 5, mainly looking at the sky, the color in the sky. I think it's maintained the color a little bit better on the Nexus 5 compared to the Samsung Galaxy S4, but both doing a decent job. Now one thing that I did want to try out on the Nexus 5 was the HDR Plus mode. Now they were talking about this quite a bit and I did want to test it out hands-on. So in the next shot I've put on the HDR mode on the Samsung Galaxy S4 and the HDR Plus mode on the Nexus 5. So if you look closely, and now you can see that both of these have a much more dynamic range because of the HDR modes. I'm going to give the edge here to the Nexus 5. It's got a lot more contrast. If you look towards the trees, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is doing a decent job, but it's looking a little bit washed out compared to the Google Nexus 5. So I'm going to give the edge here to the Nexus 5. I think the HDR Plus mode is definitely a welcome addition. Now an indoor image in good light. Once again, the wide angle lens on the Nexus 5 versus the tighter lens on the Samsung Galaxy S4 is a bit more obvious here because of the close-up. You can see that you're seeing more of the image on the Nexus 5 compared to the Samsung Galaxy S4. I do think it comes down to personal preference. In terms of the image quality, I'm going to put them neck and neck. I can't really see much of a difference between either of these. Now an indoor image in low light, the Nexus 5 I think is doing a great job. The Samsung Galaxy S4 did have the auto night mode on, which uses a slow shutter speed, but I do think the image is sharper on the Nexus 5. I think it comes down to the optical image stabilization. So it's using a slower shutter speed, but because of the optical image stabilization, it is doing a better job in terms of maintaining that detail. So I'm going to give the edge here to the Nexus 5. Low light is looking great. Now using the LED flash on both of these, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is doing a better job here, definitely. If you look towards the desk, you can see the color is much better. The Nexus 5 is washing it out a little bit, and it's looking very yellowy, which I don't like at all. So in terms of the flash, if you do have to use it, I do think the Samsung Galaxy S4 is doing a better job. So there we have it, the camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S4 and the Nexus 5. A lot of people were asking for it. I think overall, I'd say that the front-facing camera, definitely the S4 wins here. You've got better color. You've also got a higher resolution, which gives you a better detail. So the front-facing camera, I would say, definitely goes to the Samsung Galaxy S4. And if selfies are your thing, then the Samsung Galaxy S4 is definitely the better option. Now, in terms of the rear-facing camera, we've got similar results in good light, although the S4 has the high resolution, so you've got larger images. But I did think that the Nexus 5 had better colors. So I think it really depends on what's more important to you. I would give the edge here to the Nexus 5 myself. In low light, I do think hands down the Nexus 5 is much better, especially in terms of video, because in video you can't put on the auto night mode on the Samsung Galaxy S4. So it really highlights that optical image stabilization, which really improves the performance of the Nexus 5 in low light. Although the video was slightly jittery, I think, because it's using that slower shutter speed. I do think it was slightly jittery, but you do get a much brighter image, which I think makes it justified. One thing I would have liked on the Nexus 5 would be the ability to touch to focus like you can on the S4 when you're in video. You can do that in images, but when you're doing video, I couldn't seem to find a setting to switch this on. It just takes a picture whenever you touch to focus, so you don't have that much flexibility compared to the Samsung Galaxy S4. In terms of audio, I would give the edge to the Samsung Galaxy S4. It's got stereo sound versus mono sound on the Nexus 5, and although the mono sound on the Nexus 5 is quite loud, I did notice a bit of a hiss in the background compared to the Samsung Galaxy S4. That's what I think anyway. What do you think? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you do want to see more images from both devices and many other devices as well, then do go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. I am at SuperSafTV, and I post lots of images from lots of different devices on there. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here, including a hands-on Samsung Galaxy S4 versus Nexus 5 review. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSafTV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below.